Hey Danny, how you doing, man?
Alright, Lewis, how are you? I'm good.
That's good to know. I'm doing okay. Better Call Saul was a bit intense.
Yep. Take a sip of my anthrax before we get this going.
Good stuff.
Well, this is episode 9.
It is.
Bad Choice Road. Only one episode to go, and then we're done. Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was written by Thomas Schnauz, and it was directed by Thomas Schnauz, starring Bob Odenkirk, Jonathan Banks, Ray Seahorn, Giancarlo Esposito, Tony Dalton, Michael Mando, and Patrick Fabian, even though he isn't in it.
Who's Patrick Fabian? Who does he play?
Howard Hamlin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's I think he's been a bit of a loose end this year. There's a meme going around Reddit, and it's like the ending we all want, and it's Jimmy in a Cinnabon, and he gets a phone call, and it's Howard, and he says, "So, have you thought any more about the job?" But anyway, right, opening statements.
Yes, opening statements. Jimmy relies on those around him to resolve this pickle he's found himself in. He's accidentally fallen back into Jimmy from Saul. I think the man in the desert was Saul, and now he's back to the real world. He's sort of fallen back into the comfortable life of Jimmy.
Excellent. Holy shit, my arse cheeks were clenched throughout this episode, and especially the last scene. Kim is in the game. What?
Will we ever make it through an episode of this podcast where we don't talk about arses in some way?
No, they're integral to the show, Lewis.
They're the glue that holds the show together, is arses.
They're the theme of the show, arses.
I'm going to replace the theme tune. It's just us. Yeah.
Just a guy whispering, arse. Just that.
Like that American Dad thing. Ricky Spanish. Instead it's just arse.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
We're gonna write to the showrunners and see if we can get that done.
I'm the showrunner. What do you mean the showrunners? Send a letter to ourselves. Yeah. Say yep.
Yeah, we are responsible for this show. That's why it's so good.
That's why it's so high quality. Yeah.
All the other writers are against the arse thing, and we've only got this podcast to talk about it. All the other writers, like, see those two nutballs from Britain who keep talking about arses every time they're in here? Just ignore them.
Those two weirdos that want to make everything about arses, yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, God. Anyway, Better Call Saul?
Kim is in the game, and I'm really worried for her. Now, creepy room questions.
Yes. I can't think of anything worse for sunburn than getting into a hot bath. I think I would literally rather kill myself than do that.
Yeah. Is it hot though, or is it lukewarm?
I have no idea. I would imagine it's hot. Although I suppose you could just pour cold one. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And get fine. I'll let you have that one. Damn.
Yeah, because she didn't say is the temperature hot. She just said is the temperature right. So technically she didn't say whether it was a hot bath or not.
I've got a question.
Go on.
Why not tell Kim about Mike and trekking through the desert with Mike and everything? Because she's already in the game. He will lose nothing by telling her, yeah, I was in the desert and these like Mexican gangsters came and tried to kill me, and then this old man who used to be in the police or something, he like killed them all. He would lose nothing by telling her the actual truth.
I think it's just he wants her as far away from that life as possible, which is why he's normally, this is jumping a bit, but he's normally supportive of her decisions. But when she leaves Schweikert and Coakley and Mesa Verde, he's like, no, don't, because I think he sees you're going to end up in this horrible life with myself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and it proves that maybe she isn't she wouldn't do too bad in that life, according to last week's what do you call it episode? How she stood up to Lalo. Jesus.
And the thing is, she wouldn't do badly in that life. I feel like she could sell meth, or she could be a criminal lawyer. She would be very good at all these things.
Yeah, just like she's as good as Jimmy, so why wouldn't she be?
True.
What I wanted to bring up was the teaser of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Is a callback to season 4, episode 7, and they did the same split thing, and Something Stupid was playing, and it was a huge time jump for the show, and it showed like Kim and Jimmy sort of drifting apart more and more, and now I think it was like, even though they're far apart geographically, that all they can think about is just being together. I mean, so I think any hope of them leaving in the same way that they might have done a season ago is gone. Because I have no idea what's happening with Kim now, because she is now involved with this, and you can't just like, even going to Lalo was worrying enough, but she is now,
completely there. Yeah.
And Mike knows about her, and Mike's probably going to have to tell Gus that she's knows about Lalo, so that's another loose end. But I have no idea. I have no idea what's going to happen. She can't just say, Jimmy, I'm sick of your antics, I'm leaving now, because it won't wash. She's in. Once you're in, you're in. Oh, damn.
Every scene with both Jim and Kimmy and their relationship, it's like, Jim and Kimmy. Nope. Jimmy and Kim in. It's like, it's just sort of heartbreaking to watch. Because they have such potential. Yeah. If Jimmy had just not fallen down this avenue into crime, they have such potential
really do.
To be a brilliant couple and to love and support each other and everything. It's like,
it's like
you can tell they both really want to make it work as well, but they just can't.
And they won't. Well, see, that's the thing. There's theories out there that what'll happen is that Kim will remain with Jimmy and she'll just remain behind the scenes in Breaking Bad. And I don't like that, because you would see Kim, like she would get involved in some way because she's just too smart not to, and I think that just sort of it's a massive cheat, to be honest. And the other possibility is that she gets disappeared by Ed, the disappearer.
The disappearer, yeah.
Yep, and the other option is that she dies, which I'm still not a huge fan of.
I don't see any other ending for her. I see only a horrifically violent death.
I mean,
that's the only thing that could really push Jimmy off the edge, you know?
Yeah, but I'm not a fan of it in the sense that I really like Kim as a character, and I would want to see her survive, but I'm also not a fan of it. I don't think Jimmy would continue in the way that he does in the show if Kim is killed by the cartel.
Sure.
Because he really, really loves her, and I doubt that he would be as brazen as he is in the show. So I think it would make more sense if that's why I thought she was just going to leave, because I thought that would be this is it. This is no one else is with me, so who cares? Do you know what I mean? But if they two are together and they both really love each other, and then she gets killed, it's wow, that's I don't see how he could become a heartless Saul person. I mean, all happy-go-lucky. But we'll see.
We will indeed. We will. Why did Kim quit Mesa Verde and the law firm she was working with?
Well, I think for a couple of reasons. We know that she hates working for Mesa Verde because she went through so much trouble to help that man, what's his name, Mr. Acker, get his land, and almost to the point where Kim and Jimmy's relationship was destroyed because of it. And I think
Yeah.
I think also, you know, she said it herself. Kim thought that Jimmy was dead, and I think she just took stock of what's like, important in life and just thought,
Mm.
well, it doesn't do anything for me. I mean, it makes me
She's
money.
Marie Kondo'd her life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's like Atticus Finch. She's just like went completely. You know, I'm just gonna do what I can to help people now, and I'll figure out the money later on. Which is good, I guess.
It's certainly admirable.
Yeah.
This is a bit of a question that I just might have missed because I haven't watched the rest of it. What was the pineapple thing she took out of her desk?
Oh yeah, that's Do you remember in Breaking Bad, the tequila that Gus uses to poison the entire cartel?
I am aware that that happened. I think I sort of remember, yeah.
It's like Cifero Ñejo or something like that. Well, the first Kim and Jimmy have been doing this thing where they play. I keep forgetting that you haven't watched it. Kim after Jimmy was like, first betrayed by Chuck. Jimmy just decided to go full con artist, and he lived at this hotel for like an episode and just started like swindling people. And Kim showed up and said, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this? There's a job offer at Davison, Maine for you, and it's really good, and you should take it." And what they did was they ended up conning a sort of stock analyst into like buying really expensive dinners for them, because they said that, oh yeah, we've inherited $1 million and we need to like find someone who'll invest it for us. And he sort of goes, oh, I'll invest it, and then they buy this bottle of a Cifero Ñejo, which is like really, really expensive tequila, and they keep the bottle lid. So it's a sort of symbol of their slipping ways together, and how they're they're really good at creating a story and duping people. And so she's clearly still very attracted to that and still very open to that.
Enticed by that life, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you think that Lalo was going to push that fish tank off the counter? Because I really did. At one point I was like, he's going to push that off just to prove a point. He's going to kill those fish, that bastard.
I tell you something, I had no idea what Lalo was going to do. I thought I kept trying to think what's the logical response, because he is a psycho, right? But he's a logical psycho, you know. He would. I thought that they were going to go with the angle. Oh well, someone could have just shot it up, and Lalo is so, you know. Lalo and Gus specifically have got this knack for picking up tiny little details and running with it. So, to be honest, I thought Mike was going to have to shoot him.
Yeah.
And I thought that...
would Mike have shot him? Because is Jimmy a valuable enough asset to go through the hassle of having Lalo killed on American soil?
I don't think Mike was there to protect Jimmy. I think Mike was there to make sure that the lie that Gus and him have created stays maintained, so that he doesn't.
Oh, okay.
So that he leaves eventually, and if he didn't leave, then he would have to have worked out something else. I genuinely don't think that Mike would have saved Jimmy at this point.
Might Mike have killed Jimmy to ensure the lie remains?
Yeah, but that would just raise more questions, wouldn't it? It's like, who the hell is that?
Yeah, that's true.
Through a window. But I was whatever was going to happen, I was completely on edge. I couldn't move. I was in utter and like he didn't even threaten them or anything like that, and that's just the writing of this show. He didn't point a gun in their face, or he just you just know that he knows, and that's enough to scare the life out of you. You know.
Oh god, yeah.
Just like, tell me again. Just like, oh
yeah.
God, what's he getting at? What's he gonna do? No, but it's really, really great storytelling. So Juan Bolsa did the hit on the money last episode.
Yeah, who the hell's Juan Bolsa?
He's a sort of representative for the cartel.
Was he the guy that sort of not officiated? He settled the difference between Lalo and Gus that time in the warehouse.
Yeah.
Ah, okay, cool.
And what else? He was also there when Hector killed Gus's partner.
Yeah.
And so it was him that sent the hitmen to get the money.
Hmm.
So,
the question is why?
Yeah.
Does the cartel not want Lalo back south of the border? Does the cartel want to get rid of Lalo on American soil and pin it on Gus? Is there some kind of Salamanca feud everywhere?
Yeah, I mean, I just imagine that it's $7 million is a lot of money, and I think he said, well, I can't openly stop Lalo from because that would make me look bad, so I'll just hire these Colombians to do it, and then it can't be traced back to me.
And yet it was.
Because Gus just knew immediately. Gus has just got this sixth sense with this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I genuinely think that Gus was high up in Augusto Pinochet's government. That's a theory that I've been concocting for a while. And
I wouldn't be surprised.
And that's
that's the kind of energy he's got.
Yeah, and he's got all these connections, and he's maybe one of the lone survivors of that government, and he's just sort of become a drug. Oh, that would be so cool.
That would be cool. I do still think I would enjoy a prequel of Fring. I mean, I don't think you could get Gustavo Fring. You couldn't get Giancarlo Esposito to play a 20-year-old version of himself.
No.
But you could get somebody else. Do you know what I mean?
Unless they did The Irishman, and
oh yeah, where they de-aged people.
Yeah. See the there are people on the internet who can do better de-aging than that. Have you ever seen
than what was on The Irishman?
Yeah. Do you ever see those deep fake videos?
Yeah.
That's
been removed from the internet now because of the horrifying implications, obviously. But yeah,
quite right. When the video where they replaced Jack Nicholson's face in The Shining with Jim Carrey, it was actually him. I was oh my god.
Yeah. You see, I mean, don't get me wrong. There is a funny side to it, and I remember at the time it was sort of big. This bloke said, "Oh, I've used the deepfake software to make it look like my wife was a guest on Jimmy Kimmel or whatever." And there is a levity to it. But then I think somebody put Trump's face on something, or they got a Trump impersonator and put Trump's face over him, so it looked like Donald Trump was giving this horrific presidential decree or something. And it's oh, okay, yeah, that's slightly terrifying technology. Let's be honest.
I mean, yeah, it's very, very dangerous, and a lot of bad people could use it to their, their benefit. Right, I've got something written here.
Hit me with it. I've got something written here. Oh yeah, okay. It just tickled me.
So Gus's plan, as far as I can tell, is Jesus Christ. Did you heard that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's right guys, I'm gonna record now. It's as if they all start like there's a parade going on. Oh, we're just about to start our weekly parade, Daniel. It's my god. Gus's plan, as far as I can tell, is to get Lalo out of prison so that Lalo will be scared enough to then jump town and then wait until he's south of the border and then kill him.
Yeah, send Mike's Mexican cousin or something to kill Lalo.
Yeah, but now that's not going to work in the same way because we know that Lalo is not going the same way that he did before, so he's going a different route. So I don't know if he's
But surely, as long as Lalo ends up in Mexico, then it doesn't matter how he gets there.
Yeah.
Unless he tries to go to Canada or something weird.
I think he's spooked
Long
now, though.
fucking drive from New Mexico to Canada.
That's true.
Yeah, I suppose he is spooked.
So I mean, I think I watched the preview for the next episode, and he does end up in Mexico.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So he's there working on his car, and Nacho's there with him. So I have no idea how that's gonna work, but oh my god, I cannot believe it's the season finale next episode, and then after that, one season to go, and that's it. It's done. This is like Breaking Bad, like at the end of season 4.
Yes.
Look, when Walt beat Gus. Maybe this is when Gus beats Lalo.
It might be.
And they'll get a close up of a plant and how they poisoned Brock and that.
Yeah, have a close up of a plant, and it's how Gus poisoned Lalo.
Yep. Everything just fades black, and then as it rises, we see this intimidating suit, and it moves up and up and up, and we see a familiar face. So, any more thoughts on the job? End of series.
Oh God.
Sick. So Kim finds out about the shootout through the travel mug. So the travel mug's still important, and I think that's a symbol of what's going to happen as well. And
right, it'll be rendered unusable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she likes this in the same way that Jimmy does.
Yeah.
I'm just ranting off what I've wrote here.
It's like how Skylar kind of got into it at one point or another. Skylar was kind of into the whole meth thing. She was like, "Yeah, this is great. We're making loads of money. Who gives a shit?" And then the horrific endings. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think Kim is like an improvement to Skylar.
Yeah. She's Skylar, but not really a weirdo.
Yeah, she's not like. Do you know what? I think that people. I rewatched Breaking Bad like a couple of times, and the more I rewatched it, the more I I really like Skylar now because she's smart. I mean, she's a bit, of that suburban life, and so was Walt. They were both very sort of the MasterCard is the one we don't use, and then both of them adapted incredibly to this horrific life,
the seedy underworld life.
Yeah, and I remember watching it, and by the last couple of episodes, it was her that suggested that Walt kill Jesse.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Holy shit! That's that's only something Walt would." I love the memes when Walt calls Todd, and he's like, "Todd, I think I have another job for your uncle."
One thing I did think was kind of interesting about this is the idea that Kim is sort of the only tether that pulls Saul back to Jimmy, really. If say Kim had mysteriously died 10 years ago or whatever, this journey would have been over a lot more quickly.
Yeah.
Like Saul, it's a much easier thing to just flip over Jimmy and he is Saul. I think if Jimmy had gone back to an empty apartment, I think that would have been essentially metamorphosis almost complete. It's like, yeah, I'm pretty much ready. Maybe I'm not on board with killing somebody, but everything else I'm fine with. That's great with me.
There's that we have to see him get his Cadillac. That's the next thing I think. His esteem is gone, so he needs a new car, and he might go for the Cadillac. I don't
remember the Cadillac. Was it particularly?
Oh yeah,
was it particularly ostentatious?
Yeah, it was white, big white Cadillac, and it had Lyrup was the. You see it sometimes in the title sequences. We see them following the car, and it's I don't know if the.
Oh God, yeah, this ridiculous car.
Yeah,
I'd forgotten this completely.
But I don't know. I have no idea what's gonna happen now.
What a Saul Goodman car that is! It's such a very Saul Goodman. If you got in some way like a seedy lawyer, that's what you'd expect him to turn up in, regardless of anything.
Really, so bad. It's just amazing how that's Jimmy's idea of success. like working in a strip mall with a white Cadillac and a million drug dealers outside your door. That's success to Jimmy and his warped mind.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that success is like such an arbitrary idea that it almost doesn't matter that this is Jimmy's perverted idea of success, because that's everybody's idea of success is different.
That's
but
true,
then you start to view sort of Breaking Bad, and he's like, at no point does he seem contented. There are things that provide him happiness, but it's like it's always little things, like that idiotic massage bed thing that he like lies on the floor. Things like that provide him momentary happiness or momentary respite, but he never seems contented. So it's like, well, what do successful people do? They drive a massive, ostentatious car. They have an actual office that isn't a nail salon. And so on and so on. He's ticked everything off the list, but he's still a bit like, well, yeah, but I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, I don't want to buy a big house. I want to buy a massage thing, and you know, these cheap sort of comforts like a Nescafe machine and stuff like that. It's like, but he doesn't leave the strip mall because he's like conditioned to be there now. He's like, that's where he belongs, and he'll get these little comforts to sort of ease the transition. But he belongs in a not just in a business sense, but in a sort of very personal and emotional sense. You know, he's internalized his criminal nature now, I think. And it's like wanting to believe that's the way he is. It's very like I prefer like Jimmy as a character to Walter White. Like, I think he's far more complex than Walter White is. It's like, because I'm still questioning like his motives and like what it is that he wants, and whether he's, you know, going Saul enough. Like with Walter White, it's like Walt basically ran to his Heisenberg persona. He was ready to go with that like immediately. Like, he cooked in the first episode and killed a guy in the first episode.
Yeah.
Jimmy has like been resisting the urge to do that for like years with the help of Chuck, and it's like every time he tries to do right, it's like it backfires on him. And he just then decides, well, I've been told all my life I am this, so I'm just going to prove it. I'm just going to raise hell.
It's almost like a childish sort of tantrum. It's like, this fine, this is who I am, fine.
It's a sort of a anti-establishment sort of hatred that he has. It's like he came to the conclusion, for better or for worse, that those who are moral and stand for justice ultimately just want you to lose and them to win. And you know, he just, it's again in season 4, episode 10, where it's like the winner takes all is the big song of that episode, and it's like he sings that with Chuck, and as heartwarming as it is, and it's like, oh, they're brothers again. It's like, well, only one of them's going to win because the winner takes it all. It's really sad, but
I think it's that's what sort of makes this show in a bit, is the spectre that hangs over it all.
Yeah.
Is that no matter what Jimmy does next, you know what's happening to him after the show ends. You know he ends up in this unfulfilling life in Oklahoma or whatever it was, running a Cinnabon. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The sadness is kind of what makes the show in a really weird way. The sadness is what makes it, because it's like almost like a neo-noir type thing.
Yeah.
But in Mexico, it almost has that noir theme about like everything is kind of shit, and no matter what happens, it's still going to be shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Breaking Bad is sort of like a neo-western, and Better Call Saul is a neo-noir.
Yeah.
I hate that word, neo.
Neo. Why? Because of the Matrix, or?
No, because it's basically like, this is the same idea, but it's got neon glasses on it. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's basically the same stuff. It's like, you know like what's a neo thing? What's a new thing that's actually just an old thing with a bit of silver duct tape over it?
The classic example I always think of is John Wick as a neo-noir, because it's like, if you just set that in the like 50s New York and give everybody old school revolvers instead, it's a noir film about a man whose wife dies, and do you know what I mean? It's the same thing.
Yeah. Ah, well. I've got one last question, Lewis.
Hit it.
What's going to happen?
Well, I'm afraid I don't know. I think Lalo will go to Mexico and die. And I think Kim might not die now, but I think... Oh, actually, that's a good point. Maybe Kim won't die, but I think Jimmy's journey won't be complete until Kim moves away of her own volition.
Yeah.
If she's forced into it because of something that Jimmy doesn't know about, then... If Jimmy forces Kim to move away, that completes this sort of self-loathing cycle. Because the Saul Goodman thing is he hates the establishment, he hates himself, he hates the people underneath him. He sort of sits on this ivory tower in his head. Yeah. I think Jimmy needs to push Kim away in some very fatal, final way.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Right, okay, so a few things need to happen. And this show is so pernickety with details, and it has to line up perfectly with Breaking Bad and what we know already. So, Jimmy has to believe that Lalo is still alive. Because Jimmy is terrified of Lalo by the time we meet him in Breaking Bad. And him and Nacho have to do something that... Oh, God's sake. See, a professional would have turned his phone off, but not me. Not me! So him and Nacho have to do something. And I think that'll be about Hector, like Don Hector. I think that'll be about how Nacho sort of swapped his medication pills and made him have the stroke. And I think Jimmy will find out about that in some way, and that's what he'll be afraid of. What else? Yeah, and Jimmy can't know about Gus, because Saul says that he doesn't know anything about Gus, he just has a contact to get with Gus.
Oh, okay, yeah. Does Jimmy ever meet Gus? Even in Breaking Bad?
He doesn't meet Gus he meets him in Better Call Saul, but that's because that's when Mike's trying to figure out who's following him and stuff like that, and he sends Jimmy into the restaurant to follow this guy.
Okay,
Gus is in the restaurant at the start of season 3, but he doesn't know that that's obviously a drug kingpin, so it's it still works. But
so to Jimmy, Gus's cover of Pollos Hermanos CEO guy, that's still intact.
Yeah, but he obviously finds out as the seasons go on in Breaking Bad. He knows about Gus, but I don't know, season 3. Like the end of season 3 or something like that, because Walt tells him who Gus is. And what else needs to happen? What else? I think that
seems like most it, I've got to say.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Lalo has to die as well, or Gus has to believe that Lalo dies in some way, because he has that conversation with Hector that all your family's gone now, and the Salamanca name dies with you. So I think Gus will kill Lalo.
Aren't the twins Salamancas as well?
Yeah, they die, don't they?
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's been so long since I've watched Breaking Bad, but I'm sure they do die. Yeah.
Yeah, they shoot. Remember, they shoot Hank, and Hank spends a season trying to walk.
Yeah, of course. And he gets that
but they both
armor-piercing bullet or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So Tuco dies. The twins die. His Don Hector's grandson dies. And then we need to figure out how Lalo dies, or how Gus believes that he's dead, but he might be alive. And Saul has to believe that Nacho is still alive in some way, or he could just be lying and just say, "Oh, it wasn't me, it was Nacho," even though he's dead. But you might not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they've got a few things that they need to iron out. So I don't envy them. Because it's pretty.
Well, I'm sure they'll smash it anyway.
They must have an index of Breaking Bad lines, just the entire lines of the show, and just have to sort of correlate them. That must be really difficult.
Oh, gotcha.
5 seasons of television, and you have to sort of make sure that every single thing is right. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, right.
But anyway, I think that's me. Is that you?
I think that's me too. Yeah. Have you got a closing statement?
I do. Yeah. Fuck a duck. I am so scared for Kim. This was the most intense episode of the entire show. This was Breaking Bad levels of intensity. It reminded me when Walt was almost killed at the end of season 3. Things are really dangerous now, and I have no clue what will happen.
Lalo is like a bad smell that just won't go away. Will he ever voluntarily leave? I do not know. And I don't know if it would be a good thing if he did.
Brilliant.
Indeed.
Well,
I think, yes, that is everything now.
That is everything. We've got some shilling to do, don't we?
We always have some shilling to do.
Yes. Well, I am on Instagram at O'Hiram. I'm on Facebook at Daniel K. Actor. I'm on Twitter at Kerzo2000. What are you on, Lewis?
I am on Instagram at Lewis_Brindley. I am on Twitter at LewisBrindley4 and I have a Facebook page which is called Lewis Brindley. The podcast is hosted by Podomatic. We are on Spotify. We are on... Where else are we? Deezer. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on YouTube. I've almost got everything uploaded now. We're almost there. We're everywhere. Go into the street and shouting into the void, and then you won't find anything. But in theory, you might.
And you'll get arrested for being outside your house.
Make sure it's as part of your daily exercise. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, just say that. Just be like, it's Boris has given me 1 hour to shout into the void.
I'm exercising my lungs and diaphragm by shouting into the void. Is that not okay, officer?
We have a PayPal donate button. We have a Patreon, and we'd like to thank our 2 beautiful patrons, Chloe and Darius.
Thank you very much.
So thanks, guys. We are also partnered with a fantastic company called Number 12 Crochet Avenue. Lewis, you take the reins in that.
Okay, Number 12 Crochet Avenue is a business run by my amazing wife. She crochets, and she is amazing at it, and it's like watching some kind of magic unfold. And she makes a lot of amazing things. Her Instagram is at Number 12 Crochet Avenue. Go and check her out. She takes commissions. She makes scarves, lucky charms, little hearts, everything. She is absolutely brilliant at it. It would mean the world. Go and check it out. Even if you don't want to get anything commissioned, it is a beautiful Instagram. Definitely worth a check out. So go and have a look at Number 12 Crochet Avenue.
See how articulate he was? That's why I hand it over to him, because I'd just been like, she makes scarves and that, and it's good. Go check it out. It's like, that's you. That's Lewis's thing, talking up things. I mean, I'm not that kind of person.
The cynic in you. I suppose she does stuff sometimes.
I mean, she's alright. Yeah.
I think that might be everything now.
Yeah, that's everything. Yep.
Crikey.
Well,
proper powered through it today, as you do.
I know. Well, we shall see you next week for the final episode.
Indeed, we shall. We don't know what's going to happen, but we're very invested in whatever it's going to be.
Yeah. And don't worry, for when this ends, Rick and Morty is coming back, so I'm sure we'll have plenty to do in the Whisper front.
Oh yeah, and then we'll just have to hope that something comes after Rick and Morty. It's like, oh god.
yeah. Call them.
We'll start doing Friends. Start doing Friends and do one episode every week. What is it, like 20 episodes a series, and there's like 10 series. 200 weeks, that's like 4 years. Good stuff.
I would rather drown myself.
But think about how much I complain about Ross Geller. What's not to love?
I know, we cannot do Friends, Lewis. You would complain every episode. It would just be like, okay, and now it's time for Lewis complains about Ross Geller segment. I mean, in this episode.
Yeah, that's what I'd do. So if you want that, go and make a petition and sign it. And if it gets 1 million signatures, we'll do it. Does that sound good, Dan?
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. 1 million signatures. I'll do anything for 1 million signatures, Lewis.
Oh, God.
Anyway.
Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next week for episode 10, which is, of course, called Something Unforgivable.
Oh, yes. Well, we'll see you then, hear you then, smell you then.
Yep, we'll do just that. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.